From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Friday, October 10th. It is a fantastic end to the work week. A little bit chilly right now, in the 40s in some places, 30s even in some places. But hey, it's going to warm up, be a beautiful fall-like day, mainly dry. Some cloud cover out there, but we're going to be in the upper 60s to low 70s and headed into a beautiful weather weekend.
What can 160 years of experience teach you about the future? A lot, especially when it comes to protecting what matters. At Pacific Life, we've helped people and businesses confidently embrace the future with life insurance, retirement income, and employee benefits. With strategies built on strength and trust, and a promise to be here for you today and tomorrow. Ask a financial professional how Pacific Life can help you today. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska, and in New York. Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
Breaking news, the state has executed death row inmate Roy Lee Ward. The Department of Correction put Ward to death by lethal injection this morning at the state prison in Michigan City. Governor Mike Braun had refused to grant clemency, and Ward dropped the remaining federal appeals of his death sentence earlier this week. He was on death row for the rape and murder of 15-year-old Stacey Payne in Spencer County in 2001. The governor was first to announce the execution this morning. He said in part, Roy Lee Ward's case has been heard and reviewed numerous times by both state and federal courts, including the Indiana Supreme Court since his conviction in 2002. These reviews have never resulted in an overturned sentence. Happening today, Vice President J.D. Vance is set to visit Indianapolis for the second time. Sources tell News 8 that Vance will once again try to persuade Republican state lawmakers to redraw congressional districts in an effort to give the GOP a better chance to maintain control of the House. Vance met with Governor Mike Braun and Republican leaders of the State House and Senate 2 months ago. Braun says he will not call a special session on redistricting unless legislative leaders back the idea. Republicans hold a narrow majority in the House, and President Trump has been openly pushing Republican-led states to redraw maps to keep Democrats from taking control of the House for the rest of his term. Redistricting is typically only done after the census is taken every 10 years. Democrats and other opponents of redrawing districts say they will hold a protest outside the State House starting at noon today. Groups held similar demonstrations during Vance's first visit in August. A public funeral will be held for a baby girl found abandoned in Brookside Park last month. Organizers say the service will be October 25th at 1 o'clock inside the Mount Vernon Chapel at Washington Park East Cemetery. There will be a graveside burial and a ceremony after the service. He Knows Your Name Ministry is coordinating the service. The infant was found on September 1st in Brookside Park. Metro Police say the investigation is very active. Officers are asking anyone with information to come forward and say the mother may need medical attention. ITmate is digging into concerns about proposed data centers in central Indiana and how much water they might need. ITmate's Tim Spears talked to one of the area's major utilities about the issue.
A large portion of the public pushback to these projects, especially the data center proposal in Franklin Township, has surrounded the strain on utilities, with large-scale AI data centers requiring millions of gallons of water per day.
We are not going to take on a new project or customer that to the detriment of our current customers.
Citizens Energy Group spokesperson Ben Easley says the utility company treats data centers like it would any other project. Developers submit an initial proposal for water service needs, which are judged on a case-by-case basis and may lead to developers pitching in for infrastructure upgrades.
We are asking developers of any kind, data centers or otherwise, to come to the table early and to have those conversations.
The controversial Google data center proposal in Franklin Township worried some neighbors it could dry up their wells. According to a Department of Metropolitan Development report, the data center was expected to use 2 to 3 million gallons of water per day. That's more than the typical daily usage of the entire town of Whitestown in Boone County, a population of 13,000, which Citizens also provides water to.
I would say we feel like we're in a really strong position in central Indiana to provide for the needs of our customers even 50 years into the future.
That's something that I don't think a utility can say we're positioned to serve data centers without understanding how many data centers are you going to be serving.
Last year, the consumer advocacy group Citizens Action Coalition called for a moratorium on data center projects in Indiana. The group wants a statewide plan for the amount of data centers to be built in Indiana long-term and where. Executive Director Kerwin Olson worries without that information, no utility can say for sure if they're prepared.
Is all of this stuff is shrouded in secrecy.
Citizens' current capacity is 256 million gallons of water per day. There are already plans to expand to 300 million. It has not noticed impacts to wells near withdrawal sites.
We wouldn't promise water to a development that we didn't know we could supply and effectively deliver.
Citizens maintains a 50-year plan for water needs, which is evaluated annually. On the energy side, I reached out to AES, which sent a statement saying it's actively planning for large load customers. It's currently finishing up a 20-year forecast for power needs. That should be finished by the end of the month. In studio, Tim Spears for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Some Indiana parents are feeling the impact of the state's cuts to a key child care funding reimbursement program. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist spoke to a parent and a child care provider.
The Family and Social Services Administration cut the reimbursement rate it pays child care providers to close a $225 million funding gap. That means parents who were able to send their kids to daycare for free now might have to pay hundreds of dollars a week.
My complications from my pregnancy and my labor made me want to be there for people postpartum.
Madison Lingle says she has a plan to do that. She works full-time as a nursing assistant, and she's in an accelerated nursing program. She says she can't do any of that if she can't find childcare.
I think some people are assuming that it's just kind of like a handout. It's actually helping the economy and the community. My job is for nursing, and I currently work helping the community at a hospital, and CCDF allows me to give back and do that.
Lingle uses Child Care Development Fund vouchers to pay for her son Kobe's child care. But that's running out. FSSA officials say the program expanded because of temporary COVID relief funding. That money is now gone. They tell me their only choice was to either reduce the reimbursement rate or cut vouchers entirely. The new rates took effect this past Sunday.
If I had to pay even $30 a week, I don't think I would be able to, because I only make $17 an hour. And that is only enough for me to pay for my gas and my car payment to take me to work and school.
What comes before 8?
So far, Traylon Michael is not charging Lingle or the other parents who use vouchers at her child care center, but she tells me her new reimbursement rate is lower than it was pre-COVID.
There are some families who are really worried about any overage that they may have to pay in the near future, because we obviously can't keep taking significant losses.
She says some child care providers in Madison County have now closed due to the reimbursement rate changes. Michael says she'll avoid charging parents like Lingle as long as she can. In the meantime, she says parents should keep lobbying the FSSA and elected officials to reconsider. Lingle tells me she doesn't have anyone she can turn to for help. She says she's out of options.
My son and I would be in a shelter, a homeless shelter, honestly, if I didn't have CCDF. I don't really know what we would do.
I asked FSSA officials if they might reconsider the reimbursement rates depending on how things go for them financially. They said only they're monitoring the situation. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
New this morning, sad news in Chicago. The nun known as Sister Jean has died. She was the beloved chaplain of the basketball teams for Loyola University and became a national star in 2018 when the men's team made a surprise run to the Final Four. Sister Jean also came here in Indianapolis. in 2021 and met with Governor Holcomb, Butler mascot Blue, and many others during the Sweet 16 tournament. Over the summer, Loyola said that Sister Jean would no longer make public appearances due to her declining health. Then, late last night, the university announced she had passed away. Sister Jean was 106 years old. Colts watch now. Colts have a chance to keep their home game winning streak going this weekend. The team takes on the Arizona Cardinals at Lucas Oil Stadium on Sunday. Colts head into the game 4-1. Cardinals are trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. New kicker Michael Badgley is also joining the Colts after the team ruled out Spencer Schrader for the rest of the season with a knee injury. Kickoff is this Sunday at 1 o'clock. Pacers watch, a big blow to the Pacers backcourt that's already missing Tyrese Halliburton. Pacers say guard TJ McConnell will be out for at least a month. Team says he strained his left hamstring during the first preseason game on Tuesday. Pacers coach Rick Carlisle says the injury will keep McConnell out for the first 2 weeks of the regular season. To fill the void, the team has announced it signed guard Cam Payne, who played with the Knicks last season. Pacers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder in preseason play tomorrow night, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. There's also a loaded slate of college football action for local teams tomorrow. ESPN's College Game Day will be at the Big Ten Showdown in Oregon as the number 7 IU Hoosiers take on the number 3 Oregon Ducks. Game starts at 3:30 p.m. our time. Purdue Boilermakers also in action as the team looks for its 3rd win of the season in Minneapolis against Minnesota. Game starts at 7:30 p.m. 16th ranked Fighting Irish welcome North Carolina State to Notre Dame on Saturday. It's a 3:30 kickoff, and Ball State Cardinals are heading to Kalamazoo for the MAC matchup in the Western Michigan. That game is also at 3:30. National news now. New York Attorney General Letitia James is facing a mortgage fraud indictment that President Trump pushed for. Amy Kiley has the latest.
His only goal is political retribution at any cost.
You have an attorney general who's a total stone-cold crook.
President Donald Trump is getting his wish for the indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James. He openly derides her for winning a civil case against him that he's appealing.
I did absolutely nothing wrong.
Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud.
Now James is charged with 2 felonies, bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. The indictment alleges she got favorable mortgage terms by calling a home her secondary residence. It accuses her of renting out the property instead of living there herself.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. There is no small crime.
I think it's very unlikely she'll be convicted.
Sources say a then DOJ prosecutor who investigated a similar matter found insufficient evidence to pursue a case. He's out of a job after resisting Trump's pressure to charge James. The indictment contains no signatures from any career DOJ prosecutors, just Trump's former personal attorney.
Here you have a demanded prosecution and one that the career people in the Eastern District of Virginia thought was an unworthy case.
I'm Amy Kiley for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
It's the 10th day of the government shutdown, and Congress still appears to be deadlocked. Senate again failed to advance 2 competing funding proposals from Democrats and Republicans yesterday. Sherelle Hubbard has more on the political standoff.
The motion is not agreed to.
There's still no real solution in sight. On Capitol Hill, Republicans are still pushing for essentially an extension of current funding levels through mid-November. And Democrats are focusing in on health care, calling for enhanced Obamacare subsidies to be included over a week now into the shutdown.
Leader Schumer and Senate Democrats have courageously taken vote after vote against the partisan Republican spending agreement and bill because that bill continues to gut the health care of the American people.
At least one prominent Republican is siding with the Democrats.
I also don't think it's good advice that Republicans ignoring the health insurance crisis is going to be good for midterms.
Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking out against her own party.
This should not be happening. We control the House, we control the Senate, we have the White House.
Tempers flared between Democratic senators and Republican House Speaker Johnson in a hallway Wednesday over shutdown strategy.
You go down the floor and go vote to open the government up. That would be great. All right, here's the clean CR. Go vote to open the government up. Thank you very much.
We're going to have lots of... Wait a minute.
If you bring them back, we will have a discussion with them. It's very simple. You're holding the American people hostage because you want to have a policy debate.
Republicans needed 60 votes to advance their stopgap funding bill Thursday. They failed in a 54-45 vote. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The beef is officially squashed between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, at least in court for now. A judge has tossed out Drake's defamation lawsuit against Lamar's music label and the Not Like Us diss track. The judge says that the mega hits lyrics are a matter of opinion, and even though Lamar refers to Drake as a pedophile, listeners cannot conclude that the claims are fact. Drake's lawsuit does not directly name Lamar, but claimed Universal Music Group intentionally promoted the track despite the company knowing the lyrics were defamatory. Universal Music Group has denied the allegations, and in a statement, Drake's legal team says they are looking to appeal the ruling. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com. And just a side note, we will not have the podcast on Monday, but I will be back for you on Tuesday.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.